It was a cold and snowy Christmas Eve. We were leaving my grandma's house. When I say we, I'm talking about me and my little brother Ricky. On our way home, the winter storm picked up heavily. The roads were already terrible and it was dark, so I was understandably a bit worried, especially because I was a new driver, and this was my first year driving in the winter. And I had my little brother in the car with me, who I was responsible for. My grandparents live in the country, kind of, so we had miles upon miles of driving before we got into the downtown area of the city of which they live. I relied on a GPS on my phone to get us to my grandparents' house, because it's an hour away and I don't go there often at all. This year is my first time there in like 7 or 8 years, so of course I had to rely on my GPS to get us home. There were way too many turns that I wasn't paying attention to on my way there to even come close to remembering my way home. The problem was my phone died after 10 minutes of driving or so, so I couldn't call anybody, and my little brother didn't even have a phone yet. We thought about turning back around and going to my grandparents, but we didn't really consider it for long. We probably should have, but I chose not to because we were never really that close with this part of the family, so I thought it would be awkward. Luckily, I found my way back to the town they lived in. I was thinking, okay, maybe I can buy a phone charger at a gas station, or like maybe I could use someone's phone. But all the stores were closed. Even the three gas stations we found were closed. We were down on our luck. We found a hotel though, and it was actually open. Thank God, I thought to myself. They will definitely have a phone I can use. There was like nobody there besides one worker at the front desk. When I walked in, I literally did not see one single car in the parking lot. I explained to this guy our situation. I asked if we could borrow a phone. He said sure, and that it wouldn't be a problem at all. Good luck getting any service, he said. He had a very weird and ominous tone to his voice when he said that. Okay, I said. This guy seemed weird, I thought to myself. I dialed my mom's phone number, but it just made a constant beeping noise, which meant no service. Ugh, I must have tried like 10 times, but to no avail. We had been trying to figure something out for hours now, and we were getting tired, so I decided to finally give in. I told my little brother we will have to sleep here for the night and that we will leave first thing in the morning. I felt horrible because I knew my parents had to be worried sick about us. Uh, and I forgot to mention, this place was, to say the least, wretched. I mean, it looks pretty run down before we even walked in, so I wasn't expecting anything fancy, but geez, this room that we got was legit so disgusting. I didn't even feel comfortable sleeping on the bed because the sheets smelled horrible. I was just so tired though, so I couldn't help but fall asleep. I don't know what woke me up. I wake up a lot in my sleep every night, and I don't know why. But oh my gosh, I'm so happy I woke up because if I had stayed asleep for even a second longer, who knows what could have happened to my brother. When I woke up, I realized my brother wasn't there. My heart was beating so fast, I was confused. I immediately stormed up and looked around our room. He was nowhere to be found. I ran outside of our room and ran a few hallway lengths down some stairs to the front desk. Hey, have you seen my brother? He's gone. I can't find him. He looked at me in shock. No, I haven't, he said. What? How is this possible? I thought to myself. I ran outside only wearing shorts and a t shirt and some slippers. And I shit you not, there was someone dressed in all black that was holding my brother's hand trying to lure him in his car. Hey, you piece of shit. Let him go. He took off running with him. Luckily, I caught up with him. I have never ran that fast in my life. I hit him in the back of the head as hard as I could, and he fell straight to the ground, while I slipped and fell on some ice. The guy ran off, and I got my brother back and took him inside. I calmed him down and told him everything was going to be okay. Turns out Ricky couldn't sleep, and he took my wallet to go get something to snack on from the vending machine and got lured out by some strange man. I don't know what was going on or how they thought they were going to get away with that or whatever even happened. I'm just glad he's okay. We were able to get service a few hours later and called the authorities. Got a hold of my mom and she helped us get home. The police don't really have anything on the strange man. They think he was in a stolen car. The only info I could give is that he was tall, maybe 6'2", and fairly skinny. He had a shaved head and he was in his mid-50s or so. My brother and I have been traumatized by this. I feel so bad for him. He is only a kid. And something that haunts me to this day is that he's still probably out there doing this to other kids. I was on a road trip heading to my cousin's house. He lives almost on the complete other side of the US as me. He lives in El Paso, Texas, and I was coming from the northern part of Michigan, which for anyone that knows, that is obviously an extremely long drive. The driving is honestly a little too much for me, but I've been doing this once a year every summer for the past 4 years, so I guess you could say I'm a little used to it by now. Still, though, it's almost impossible to get fully used to driving that far at once. I mean, obviously, I take breaks here and there, but that is a lot of driving. You start getting cranky and a bit sore from sitting in the same position so long. Anyways, it's no big deal because I love going to my cousins, so it's all totally worth it for me. I was getting sleepy on the first night driving. I'd been driving for around 9 hours with only a stop or two at a gas station for snacks and a pee break. Like I said, it was getting to be around that time where I should probably head to sleep before I start getting delirious behind the wheel. The nearest motel was like 30 minutes away that I knew of, so I decided to stop there. When I got there, it felt a little eerie. It could be just because I'm unfamiliar with the area or that it was nighttime and the motel looked like it was a bit run down. But I didn't want to sleep in my car at a rest station, so this was my next best option. The area was relatively remote. I'm pretty sure there was a town only a few miles down the road, but it definitely had that like old town, middle of nowhere look and feel to it, if you get what I mean. I don't really mean that in a bad way either. I thought it was quite peaceful actually. Even though it was run down, it felt like luxury to be able to sleep in a bed. As soon as I got in my room, I was happy because I could finally relax for the night. I did some stretching, ate some snacks, and then I turned on the TV. I started dozing off shortly after. I'm not sure how long I was sleeping, but I heard a couple of loud bangs on my window. Hey man, help. I need help. Let me in, please. It's an emergency. Help. What the hell is going on? I thought to myself. I woke up in a panic. I almost opened the door for him, but I decided not to. I just had a really bad feeling, like this gut wrenching feeling that something was off. I told him to go to the front office or to seek someone else for help because I was in a deep sleep and that he scared the living hell out of me. He said, and I quote, "Whatever, man, screw you then." He walked off only a few moments later. As I was sitting there in disbelief trying to process my thoughts, 30 minutes must have gone by. I was trembling in anxiety because of what just happened, and I didn't want to fall back asleep in case he decided to come back. Well, not sure if I manifested it, but he came back. This time a lot more angry. He then started to try and open the door by using the door handle. He actually ended up breaking through by picking the lock somehow. Dude, what the hell do you want from me? Just give me your wallet and everything will be fine. He had a gun that he pulled out as soon as he walked in, pointed at me, and said, I'm not going to ask you again. I immediately gave him my wallet, phone, and keys. He took off with the car and everything, and did Lord only knows what else. When he took off, you could hear the tire marks burning rubber as he sped away. I immediately ran to the front desk to tell them everything that just happened. We called the police, and when they showed up 30 minutes later, there obviously wasn't much they could do. It wasn't until maybe 2 days later they found my car totaled about an hour and 30 minutes away. Luckily, I only had $150 in my wallet, and I canceled all my cards before he could max all my credit cards out. This was by far the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. I was so shook that I decided to skip going to my cousin's that year. My fiance actually called off work for a day to drive and come get me. I haven't heard much of the situation since. This might sound a little weird, and maybe it is, but on my 19th birthday, my friends threw a small party for me at this really run-down motel that was in a really rough part of town. We went to this motel specifically because we knew that it would be cheaper and we figured we would be able to get away with a lot more here than your average hotel or motel. None of my friends had their own place yet, so that's why we decided to party here. No parents met no rules. We were all getting high, smoking weed, and drinking. I was having a great time. Originally, it was only supposed to be 6 of us, but as time went on, more and more people kept coming. Some people I didn't even know even. By 11:30, there was like 15 of us all smashed together in this small room. I told everyone to stop inviting people or I'd call the party off. Well, as time went on, more people showed up. We ended up getting a noise complaint, and one of the managers told me and two of my other friends that we had to make everyone leave or they were going to be kicking us all out. So we made everyone leave. It was just me and two of my other friends at this point. Honestly, I much preferred it this way anyways. It was way too crowded to be in there with all those people. By 1 o'clock, we were all pretty messed up and we thought it would be fun to go walk around outside. John was the only one that seemed like he didn't want to, but we convinced him to come and that it would be fun. He said it wasn't smart because of how bad of an area we were in. We told him to stop overthinking and that everything would be fine. Everything wasn't going to be fine though. It was at first, but then it all went wrong. You see, we were having a blast just walking around and listening to music with our speaker pretty loud. We were on a main road in Detroit, and it was a Saturday night, so there were lots of people around. I guess we made a wrong turn into a neighborhood because our fun stopped abruptly when we ran into a group of 8 or 9 plus guys who honestly looked like they were up to no good. I knew something bad was about to happen by the way they were walking over to us and by their tone of voice. They didn't even really say much to us though, and I'm sorry for getting graphic here, but they pretty much beat the crap out of us and took all of our phones, money, and even our liquor. One guy took my watch that my parents got me for my birthday last year as well. When they finally stopped beating us and took off, John and I soon realized that my friend Tommy literally got knocked out cold. We had no way of calling the police, so our only option was to carry Tommy home. I don't know why we were so dumb and naive and thought nothing could happen to us. The whole situation was one big mistake and easily the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. I regret everything about that night. Tommy ended up coming to shortly after picking him up. Tommy and I both suffered from severe concussions, while John had a cracked rib. We ended up making a police report, but there wasn't much we could do other than wait and see if the cops could come up with anything. They never did.